The United States is hosting the biggest World Cup in history. 78 matches on American soil. The biggest stadiums, the biggest crowds, the biggest money. That was the plan. FIFA called it the tournament that would conquer America. Gianni Infantino, FIFA's president, said, and I am quoting the general idea here, that football would flip this country upside down. Days into the tournament, some of those host cities have empty hotel rooms, canceled bookings, stands thinner than expected. For a tournament that was supposed to be the greatest celebration football has ever seen, the opening chapter is not quite going to plan. Let us go through exactly what is happening, because there are several problems layered on top of each other, and each one alone would be manageable. Together, they are something else. Start with the tickets. FIFA promised this would be the People's World Cup. Accessible, inclusive, a tournament for everyone. In practice, following your team from the group stage all the way to the final would cost one fan a minimum of $6,900. That is not a typo. $6,900 for one person to watch one team. The final ticket alone at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey could cost several thousand on top of that. FIFA introduced something called dynamic pricing, which sounds technical and reasonable. What it means in practice is simple. The more people want a ticket, the more expensive it gets, automatically, whether you like it or not. Football Supporters Europe, a major fan organization, called it a monumental betrayal. That is a strong phrase. They used it anyway. Then there is the immigration problem, and this one goes deeper than a pricing dispute. Fans from several countries are facing outright travel bans to the United States. Not delays, not extra paperwork, bans. German fans have publicly said they are skipping American venues entirely and traveling only to matches in Canada or Mexico. A German supporter named Tom Roeder told Reuters, and this is the general sentiment he expressed, that he was simply afraid he might not be allowed into the country. This is a football fan, afraid to travel to a World Cup. Ghana supporters trying to reach matches in Boston and Philadelphia ran into serious difficulties. Iran had its entire ticket allocation revoked by FIFA 2 days before the tournament opened. 8% of tickets that Iran's federation was entitled to distribute to its own fans gone. The Iranian soccer body said the United States had taken steps to obstruct the presence of Iranian supporters at the stadiums. FIFA said it was a security decision. The argument is still happening. And then there is the case that perhaps summarizes the whole situation most clearly. A Somali referee, a qualified FIFA-appointed official who was selected to officiate matches at this World Cup, refused entry to the United States. Not a fan, not a journalist, the referee. In theory, American domestic fans were supposed to fill any gaps left by missing international visitors. The thinking was straightforward. If foreign fans cannot come, local fans will step in. In practice, this is the United States in summer. Baseball season is running. American families have their own travel plans. The cost of living in cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Miami is already high without adding World Cup hotel rates on top. And football, or soccer as most Americans still call it, is not yet the sport that empties offices and stops the country. That combination, missing international fans and an American audience that is not yet fully converted, is what is showing up in the attendance numbers and the hotel booking data. Now, to be completely fair, this is not entirely new territory. World Cups have always attracted political complications alongside the football. Brazil in 2014 had protests in the streets. Russia in 2018 had geopolitical tension before a ball was kicked. Qatar in 2022 had human rights concerns that dominated coverage for years. Every tournament has its shadow, and FIFA will point out, correctly, that nearly 2 million tickets were sold in the first 2 sales phases, with overall demand oversubscribed 30 times over. The money will be made, FIFA will be fine. But the image is a different question. Football is not just a sport, it is an atmosphere. It is the noise, the color, the chaos of 60,000 people who have traveled from the other side of the world to watch 90 minutes of football. You cannot manufacture that. An empty section in a stadium is visible on every broadcast. Every camera angle catches it. The whole point of bringing the World Cup to America was to convert a nation, to take a country that has always been politely interested in football and turn it into something genuinely passionate. That requires moments. It requires packed stands and local fans losing their minds, and a home team going on a run nobody expected. If the United States men's team goes deep in this tournament, everything changes. America has a very specific habit. It becomes obsessed with something the moment its own team is winning. Suddenly, everyone has always loved this sport, but that moment has not arrived yet. Right now, what exists is empty hotel rooms, a pricing structure that locked out ordinary fans, political decisions that kept international supporters away, and a tournament that is still searching for the atmosphere it was promised. The football will decide how this story ends. It usually does. The knockout rounds are coming. The pressure will rise. The stadiums will fill for the matches that matter. Whether the 2026 World Cup is remembered as the tournament that finally conquered America, or the one that revealed how complicated it is to host a global event in a divided political moment, nobody knows yet. What we do know is this: FIFA got exactly the host it wanted. The biggest country, the biggest stadiums, the biggest potential audience on the planet. Now it has to deliver the tournament to match. You're welcome.